So as I talk about this project, RegIntel project, I'm covering here what sort of technology looks like we would be touching on, experiencing on, working on, something like that. So just giving you context in a high level, this RegIntel project, regulatory intelligence project, I already covered in different sessions. It is the intelligence on top of legacy documentations or regulatory documentation, which is hard to read, hard to understand. So that required extreme subject matter experts, years of work to understand that. But we are helping designing a solution such a way that it can reduce that pain. So understanding will have, it can take lesser time to understand than a whole, along with the facts and everything. So I'm giving you context, set of technologies which we can touch on, in this specific project here. So here, think about like we can talk about. Just see what's going on. Okay. So here, key of the things which you can look on, for usually, I have a lot of used Atlassian products. So Atlassian, if you go into, like they have the product, we call it Jira, that we divide the work. Go and look into, various videos. When you hear the term Agile, Scrum, all these things, a lot of people divide the work we actually do, divide in tickets and set up a system and call it a Jira. Knowledge, this is a confidence, like knowledge base. Knowledge base, something like, the way, you keep your notes in your notebook whenever you study a topic or, put in documents. So when we work in a project, so, whatever we learn, key points, understanding, we put on conference, look into this. Another thing, these are, so you look into the Git, GIT, what the Git means, how it got invented, how it came into the picture, and GitHub is the solution on top of it, right? So Git is a protocol managing the code, right? Go and look into it and understand it. So there's a GitHub there, right? There is like, GitLab also there. Understand, just watch some videos, what this tooling means. That professionally we use. Jenkins, there are many other ways, TeamCity, there are many other CI/CD things. CI/CD means because you write you write some code. That code has to run somewhere. One, it is in your local machine, you can run it. But usually, when many developers work, many developers push the code. So we develop a system, we push the code, and the code, definitely a project has multiple code repositories. They all together come together and call it as a solution. They resides into the cloud where database, analytics, CloudWatch, notification, emails, everything's working. So there are different environments, tab or whatever. So CI/CD pipelines helping us in a system where multiple people pushing a code get pushed, and then it goes automated deployment to the cloud. Again, it has process involved, it has observation involved, monitoring involved, administrator involved. It is automated, but on top of it, there is something. Go into the cloud. I would suggest click on the sign-in console, click on the cloud, learn it, understand it. What is it? Is it do something like that? Look into Google Cloud as well. See the differences. Doesn't matter. You can use AWS Cloud. You can use Google Cloud, but I have mostly used a lot Google Cloud. MongoDB database. So there are multiple type of database. Even you can use JSON. You need to understand why you are using database. So I also came back, from that background where we have the relational type of databases. But MongoDB solved a lot of problems because it is no SQL only. Means it is, that's how they define. Means it is the MongoDB founder who made all these things. So there, like even some of my application, I'm using MongoDB because that way I don't need to focus on what my database looks like, because I'm not solving the problem where I can figure out the relations. I'm solving the problem which is extremely abstract, uncertainty, unknown, and I have no idea, how I can standardize the database. For a school where a defined system, CBSE board, schools, features, everything is predefined. Students are studying. Very easy to put into Postgres or any relational database. But some solution, like RegIntel, which I talked about. Seriously, I do not have, much idea about, how this. I'm still developing it, progressing it. I would suggest MongoDB to going forward. See, currently, if I'm going to the Reg kind of stuff like that, I will look into the API pricing, how OpenAI comes. That's the LLM kind of things. I can look on the cloud APIs as well, how these stuff works. And I like, Angular, React also good, Vue also good. But based on my past project experiences, Angular give a better structure, repository structure, putting, where you're putting your data models, APIs calling. You are from the day one, you are putting your, HTML separate, test cases separate, APIs, accessing APIs separate, something like that. So we can dive into the details, but I do see that a lot of like very serious organization adopted Angular. Again, everything is good. You just do the work, start it, learn it. Bitbucket, it is connected with Atlassian, easier to, push the code and everything, connect to Jira and Conference as well. That's another tool. I'm a fan of IntelliJ IDEA, using since 2015 or 16, something like that. So I like it. I use it all of the, like different, I use either, for C++, CLion, data spell for raw data engineering stuff. For Golang, I use Golang. I use PHP. I've never coded at all, maybe way back or something. But I use PyCharm, Ruby, mine I've not coded, Rust I've not coded, WebStorm I've not coded. But mostly, I use just one. It's the ultimate IDE. So currently, I'm using 3.4 DataGrid, and to basically see all the database connection in my local and all, and PyCharm and all. And yeah, you keep. This is what I really like it. This is very professional and makes sense to me. AWS console, I go for it. I would suggest go for it, but go deeper, go basics, from start basic. We can touch Bedrock, but that does not mean we are going to learn it and buy it. We need to understand which is cost effective, what the problem we are solving. We are not going to buy Mercedes, even we have money. We will buy what we need, what we use, something like that. Airflow, I have not used it, but one of my projects, we have used it to, design the workflow and all data pipelines kind of stuff. So that's the one thing I can suggest. And Dagster, again, I have not used it by myself, but I see in my team one guy has used this Dagster. Look into it because that did some sort of data orchestrations and moving the data to, in a data warehouse and all. Look into the Snowflake, what it is, how it came up, what the under the hood thinks it. Again, I have not worked into it, but I worked in a team where those guys were using Snowflake like that. I worked in different data engineering, data scientist, or those kind of things, but still picked up like something, which I can quickly show. So that's how, the tech looks like, but you may ask the programming language. So I would suggest, usually I go with, currently I'm doing a lot of things with Java, or I'm doing with, Python, right? So yeah, so that's the standard I'm using currently. Kind of one of my projects, Java 25, and latest Spring Boot. Sorry, I picked up the wrong version. I should have picked up Java programming language, right? So Java programming language. So if you go here and picked up the Java programming language, see, look into, I really like means you need to look into, who basically developed it, how it came up. See, we go, step by step deeper, but the real knowledge we get if we talk professional, not everybody is free to give you answer. Go, talk, question, develop curiosity, learn it, ask question, why Java? Challenge him, something like that. It does not mean, I know everything. I still learn every day, understand everything. And just I picked up, go and talk, think about how come this guy came, we are learning the language and this guy developed the language. Wonderful. And go a bit of history, develop curiosity. Currently, I'm using this Java SE25. Go into features and all. Definitely we do, if else something. And Python, I'm using, I think, 4+ version, something like that. So that's the Python I'm using. And go for it. Go to the YouTube and all, learn about it. MongoDB we have. So yeah, you can use Node.js as well. People are using, this Node.js, Next.js, something like that, right? This I have used, but yeah, it is just, quickly show you like what technologies we touch. But again, first thing is the project. If you don't understand this, you won't understand this. That's my key message to you guys. So look into it, learn it, understand it, enjoy it, and then, please get in touch. We can connect, type me a question, and we'll work more. So that's the point. And let's keep connected. Thank you, and have a good day.